as mentioned, we're on Lipany. Swilly going for the immediate sheep kill, but unfortunately not the optimized choice on that sheep. A little bit of a walking distance there.
Yeah, for
Swilly
sure.
gonna be
It's
blue
not
English,
best.
and the Tuff Toast is orange, Holy Roman Empire. I think the Tuff Toast is seated at this level, 5, right? Maybe 4 even. Just because of his performance in previous Age of Empires 2 tournaments. He's a constant face at the top, won the last one with his teammate Offense Post. And he was really able, in the beginning of our Age 2 stuff, to pivot from a long history in Age of Empires 3, actually, and really just bring his skills over and do really well. So we were expecting him to be able to convert once again, and it's going to be exciting to see what happens here. Swilly, on the other hand, just an all-round epic gamer. Yeah, absolutely, silly Seth. We'll be pushing out those YouTube videos twice a day again. Music reminds me of Prince of Persia. Oh, that was the face screen music. Yeah, that's all the Age of Empires games music ever released in a random playlist. You're welcome.
It's good. It's really good. Age of Empires music is fantastic.
Even the online, like Age of Empires Online, is interesting. You never think it too, but the Age of Mythology soundtrack is like surprisingly like electronic in flavor. It's fresh. We've got some stragglers. Recently, straggler trees on a lot of maps have been updated to spawn closer to the town center, so it's definitely more worth going straight to those in a lot of builds.
Yep, and we're seeing both players here go for pretty food heavy early, which is good to see. That's what you typically do. I think as the Holy Roman here again, you're trying to get to age 3, so you can get those man-at-arms, which are fantastic into the longbows. But I think as English here, once you get to age 2, you want to start putting on some longbow pressure. So see if Swilly can do that.
Yeah, definitely the English in most matches here should be the aggressor. At least feudal age probably goes English feudal, Holy Roman castle, and then back to English imperial as far as the advantage goes. Both of these players taking the stragglers and some interesting sheep locations. But we move on, as Ozzy Drongo says. We move on forward.
I did notice Tough Toast here isn't gathering any gold. I don't know if he didn't realize you'd need gold to age up.
Yeah, it is getting a little late in the day to not be on the gold mine. Here,
Typically,
this guy's got a pick in
there
his
we
hand.
go.
Here it is. Okay.
It's typically something you go pretty early on. Usually want at least probably 2 to 3 villagers on your gold within the first 5 villagers maybe that you make, just to get that trickle going.
I mean, last set we saw Controversy, pretty optimized HRE build order with that, like, I don't know, what was it, like a 8-minute 50 age 3?
Yep.
He was going 3 on gold right at the beginning, so that's probably a good reference point. Not going to be going for that mining camp right now. Not enough wood.
Did see Swilly using those short bows. Those villagers actually have quite a lot of power early on. They're the best villagers that you can get, I think, if I remember correctly. And they almost got the scout there, I think, which is pretty good.
On that. Oh, close call on that scout, yeah.
That was all just the villager power. Right. Got a Swilly fan in chat.
Swilly fan, Cap, good to see you. Absolutely. Love doing this. Thanks for chatting, livening things up, giving your expert English opinion. This is an interesting lumber camp to me. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, that's typically you want your camps to, if you draw a line from your town center to the resource, you want it to be kind of on that line. So that way, if you need to run away, your villagers are as close to the town center as possible. Also, I'm not seeing a mining camp on the gold, which is...
He still doesn't have enough food. And, well, actually, or wood. I say that now he's dropping a barracks. I guess he decided... Wait a minute. What's going on with this 42 gold situation? Are we researching, like, some techs? Did we get
No,
Lim already?
I think it's long distance mining here is what we're seeing, unfortunately, because Tuff
That's all
hasn't
it
built a
is.
mining camp.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to for a little while yet. Because of this barracks choice. Does have a lot of food, though. Like, so much food. But there's not too much you can do with just food in the Dark Age.
Swilly seems to have a pretty good build.
Pretty good build here for the English.
He's hit that 400 food, 200 gold pretty much simultaneously, which is usually the sign that you've got a pretty good build order going when you have no float.
You have that balanced
There we
out,
go.
and there it is. I'd like to see these sheep closer to the TC, but that's a little bit of a nitpick.
Yeah, definitely, but it's sometimes challenging to get your sheep next to the town center because you click them on the town center, you accidentally move them, you select them instead of a villager, and you move them out, and then...
Oh yeah, and the town center like selection radius is so big, it's ridiculous sometimes.
So
I think
I'm
Swilly
interested
dropped
to
that
see...
mill just for the wheelbarrow, actually.
Yeah, that's one thing I was to point out is I like that he dropped that for the wheelbarrow. That was really good, and then I want to see some longbows come out here, right? Oh, and I think there's a longbow.
There it is,
Nice.
straight up 3 in queue.
And rallied as well across the map.
This is actually clean.
This is good. This is really clean.
Yeah. Got the prelate out here, working on... Okay, so you can see now, like, fresh off the boat, not exactly the studied Age of Empires 4 HRE build order enjoyer that we've seen in the last couple of games. The Zakin's gonna speed up the wood gathering though, as long as he garrisons a prelate inside.
Yeah, if he's worried about harass, maybe he wants... You can definitely get extra wood in this matchup and just build towers, and that way you can garrison your villagers to avoid harass.
Absolutely. The spawn here is not great for the chapel either. Like, this is pretty good for the wood, and you can just wall off the choke point there.
Exactly. I think walls on this map could be a lot stronger. I don't see any walls coming up, but that's definitely something you could try to do, that Tuff Toast especially could do.
Lipany is, like, kind of infamous for its random, rather unbalanced at times map generation with these cliffs, like, all over the place. Both players could look to,
This is Lipany? I didn't even realize.
Oh, yeah. Which... not in the map pool.
Okay.
But anyways, with the map that we have that's been played on here, you know, we're just gonna let it sit for now, I think. Both players could look to use some of these randomly generated choke points to their advantage, maybe down here, blocking that off. Or even through here, keeping that middle secure. Swilly's food gen is nutty. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. One thing I think we haven't seen a lot of is we haven't seen players really move out of their base to get resources as much this this Age 4 tournament. I'd like to see some players try to go out and get the deer, get the boar, because right now it looks like both players are getting berries. So maybe it's just Swilly, but berries aren't very efficient in general, so you tend to want to avoid those as much as possible.
Controversy. This is an exception and not a pattern, I promise. We're not adding Black Forest to the map pool for you, I'm sorry. I usually like to ask the players if there's a mistake like this, if they're cool with it, to let it stand. I did not do that on this occasion because I realized it like this afternoon, and I think they would both be okay with it anyways. So if you're out there, Swilly, and you want a remake on this match, let us know. But I don't think you will.
This is good.
This is very really strong archer push. Not much of an answer for Orange to this either.
I want to see him focus the prelate here to really knock out that production even more, to knock out that inspiration bonus.
Oh, yeah. That prelate could be sitting in here, tucked up nice and safe and sound, but I think that's another inexperienced situation.
Yep.
And the Tuff Toast, Feudal Age. I mean, okay, these early man-at-arms are going to be very effective. The numbers for Swilly, though, are huge. in comparison.
He's kiting, which
He's
is
doing
really
a
good.
pretty good job kiting too. Yeah, this guy's a league pro. He knows how to kite.
Oh yeah.
Who is
I
winning?
like that cue. He knows what to get. He knows he needs those man-at-arms against those Lombos. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's good. H4 definitely, it's much more clear, I feel like. Especially with the armor versus anti-armor. What unit counters what, and I like that. Can I host my next series versus David to make sure no mistakes happen? Now you'd have to get David to agree to let any mistakes stand, I think. The issue here is that nobody noticed it.
Looks like there's a question in chat.
Oh,
Who is winning?
He's going in the Aachen. Who is winning? Well, there's a few ways that we can use to judge that. It could still go either way. It's probably like a 60-40, 70-30 right now. But
Yep.
the early man-at-arms could make a big difference here.
the
Swilly's
villager
only in
harass.
feudal age, so you can't really deal with that.
Yeah, villager harass is very evident here. If you look at the villager count on top, that tends to show you who's in the lead. Just because if you have more villagers, you have more resources. More resources means
That's the
typically
top
ahead.
bar there. And there's obviously the score in the right corner, or the right side of the screen, that we just are unable to hide. But, you know, everybody says, don't look at the score.
A bit deceptive for sure. If you build a lot of outposts, you just tend to have a very high score, even though.
Or if you build and pack up Mongol buildings too much.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, the villager count definitely is a good judge of that.
Both players with relatively
Huge
low
amount
float.
of wood.
It's good to see. Seeing,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of gold maybe for Tough Toast, but in general, low float, which is a good sign that both players are spending their resources, which is one of the most important things to keep in mind. It's not,
The Tough Toast,
not float.
new players, at least speaking about new players, I'm seeing a lot of choices from the Tough Toast that are definitely showing some good experience or like knowledge of like the structure of the game at least. He's making exactly the right units that he needs to deal with longbows. Getting a stable up, maybe for harass, or maybe just for knights into longbows as well. Or, you know, even horsemen is probably even a better choice there. And
It's a great outpost.
man-at-arms. Yeah, that outpost is solid too. So, good stuff from the Tough Toast in his first game on H4. Good stuff.
This is his first game? Wow.
I think he's played some campaign games. I don't know.
Alright, this is definitely not bad for a first game here.
We've got that
He's
English
building all the
farm
right
out here in the
units.
field. Yeah, he is building all the right units, and that's honestly surprising for this amount of game-specific practice.
Here's, I think, a common mistake that English players make is they build the farms around their town center because that's what most civilizations do. But I'm pretty sure as English you don't actually want to do this because your mills have an influence bonus around them that makes the farms around them more efficient. And if you build your farms around your town center, then they don't get that bonus. So
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of English players going with, you know, the standard 8 farms around a mill and just multiplying that as much as you can. These are safer vills if you get raided. You can just go into TC, but it's not even worth it with the with that bonus that you get from the harvest from the mill. We've got an engagement here. I see Controversy, our HRE expert, talking about marching drills. You're right. That would be a good move to catch up with these longbows. They're slow. They've got long bows.
I gotta love the horseman. That's a really, really good pick into
Yeah, that's I love
longbows.
that. As a age 3 player, is there like an interaction with like a light cav and range in that game that's similar? Because I know
I'm trying to
age 2
remember, I haven't-
you don't get horsemen at all. You just have the scout line that gets upgraded.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe there is some kind of light cav, but I don't remember all the details about damage interactions.
Controversy. It's not a done deal here. I'm surprised Swilly won this game. Come on now.
Contra does mention that H3 should have pushed here. I think that makes sense. He knows that his opponent only has longbows, so it's a good time to put some pressure on.
And is
Swilly
continuing
is
to make
changing.
only longbows. Is he switching
I-
it up?
He's switching it up, yeah.
Mangonel's coming out. That's a good sign.
I just see some knights coming out too, which
in a couple nights. English and French, or English and HRE, you don't usually think about in regards to knights too much, but definitely they're both very strong on the knight front.
These mangonels could be absolutely critical. If he gets big hits in with these mangonels on these man-at-arms, it could be like game winning. I think that's probably Swilly's most important thing here, most important unit right now. If he micros these mangonels, hits the center of a blob of man-at-arms, then you can easily take out the whole blob. And that obviously depends on if Swilly is, or if Tuff Toast rather doesn't use the formation button to make his units spread out. So that's kind of the counter to those mangonels, is to spread out your units with the formation button. Looks like we got 2 mangonels now. That's kind of cool. I like the second
Double
mangonel.
mango. That's gonna work well against the slow man-at-arms. I guess we're looking for marching drills in here. Where would that be at? Contra, I deleted your message. I guess the timeout button does a whole 10 minutes, so you're free now. You've been freed again. Is that gonna be a blacksmith? Yeah, there it is. And it is on the way, marching drills.
Do we have +1 ranged armor in for Tuff Toast?
The only thing we have is range attack. Is it being researched? It is. It's a little bit in the queue. But this is not looking terrible for orange. He needs more units, I think. Blue is doing a great job massing up with, especially these mangonels. I think this could be the decider with the mangoes.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of resources. We're seeing a ton of resources now pile up for Tuff Toast. If he invested into H2.
I don't know if that was an intentional scout, but giving critical information on what the look of the army is for the enemy.
I actually have a feeling that Scout was trying to go around, or maybe the pathing was strange because you notice Tuff Toast built a wall on that south forest. Maybe the pathing changed and it just started going around the other way.
There it goes, working on those production buildings. And the Tuff Toast going with some really good positioning here. He knows he can't take that fight. A lot of players would just rush straight in and try to defend their homeland. A lot of the players that we've seen today, I guess. But he's just going to take the opportunity to mass up as many units as he can. Has everything queued backwards. Definitely the right choice here.
This is going to take a lot of micro, I think, but if Tuff Toast can get some horsemen out, he can group them up, get behind the mangonels. He can hit from the front with the man-at-arms, and then while he has his horsemen hitting the mangonels in the back. That's kind of, I think, how you would approach this defense.
Orange really struggling for food, and he has just dropped the Burgrave. Okay, probably, honestly, that's a very dangerous move right now. Going up to the next age, I think you're going to need to hold at the age that you're in, and use your extra resources that you get from not aging up, since Swilly just recently dropped it. Well, actually, it's probably been a while now since he dropped the White Tower. Again with the White Tower. I guess that's the meta in this tournament.
Yeah, the White Tower is nice too because it makes units, so if you're newer to the game, it lets you build, I think, any unit pretty much, including some siege, if I remember correctly, which is quite nice, having that ability to just make any unit without having to think about what buildings to place.
That's true. There's the Burgrave, and we are floating quite a lot of food, so we could see a lot of man-at-arms coming out. We've got that upgrade, that's key. But this army is moving in. It's not going to be pretty. Horsemen on the front line.
This fight. You really should take. Tuff Toast should take this fight here. He has upgrades in queue. He has more man-at-arms coming. He should play safe here.
I think that age up was actually the right move, or a good move. He's going to win this front line, but the mangoes, 4 of which are now out, are going to hurt him real bad.
Oh no, mangonels!
I think he just needed to delay a little bit longer. There it goes. Mango's obviously not doing team damage in this game.
Tuff Toast here needs to retreat. He needs to pull back.
Okay.
He needs to get some more troops out of his Burgrave Palace.
Yeah, I think you can still pull back and delay. You're running out of time, but you can. He's going for the Burgrave mass again. Swilly has no front line now, and he's making only longbows again.
He's got to deal with those mangonels. I think he needs either horseman or a siege workshop with a spring ult, but I don't think he has the time to go siege workshop. His stable went down.
Oh, okay, I think we're just running in. Oh, okay, no, that was an auto. Still trying to hold on. This TC will take a lot of fire. I don't know if he knows about emergency repairs, but it'll delay things for quite a while. I still think you could win this with man-at-arms if you build enough of them right now.
If he knows about the auto repair, that would be huge. That would delay this siege, this TC siege for another minute probably.
Yeah. Where's the blacksmith for this guy? Does he have one? No, he does not. Okay, unless I am blind. No blacksmith upgrades for blue, but he doesn't need them. He's optimizing this workflow. Doesn't need to spend resources on that. Another mangonel coming out.
Wow, for
Now
first game,
coverage.
like this is some really good play out of Tuff though. So I like how he's focusing the mangonels.
Yeah,
He's trying to at least.
Good choices here. And a knight on the front line. That's going to stand up for a long time. No spears out at all. These mangoes have to pull back, even though there are 5, only 4 back. Ooh.
Oh.
Ouch. I'm just like
really
pleasantly surprised by both players in this game, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I like that Swilly's keeping the pressure on. A lot of players tend to pull their army back. They build up an army, then they attack. But I like this constant pressure strategy that Swilly's using. Just constantly attacking buildings, even with mangonels, which aren't that efficient.
Tuff Toast has moved back here with farming eco as well, so he's got safe food again. Good plays. And safe gold too. Pretty safe once we get any raiding. I don't think we're going to see emergency repairs come out today.
Oh. He has pulled villagers to repair, I think, but it's not unfortunately going to do much.
Oh yeah, we got one. And I think we're running on fumes right now. This farm food is not going to come in fast enough, and I don't think there's enough of it to continue to support all
this
the
is what
arms you're going to need.
That's where I would have loved to see villagers go out and pick up like a boar or deer or something other than farms. Going farms too early is a bit risky because you...
Yeah, look at this deer back here.
Exactly.
It's just chilling back here in the corner. Swilly's never going to look at that. We do have some berries with a little bit of a wall.
I like the idea. That's definitely the right idea.
The villager difference is huge right now, though. 52 to 32. I guess that was just the pressure. He lost quite a few on the wood line.
Swilly's going pure mango now here. I see another one coming. Oh, there's a trap. That's what I like to see.
We have a trap now. It's probably going to be a white tower trap. It could come out of this siege workshop.
That's a great choice. The trap is just going to kill these buildings so much faster than these mangonels.
Now, it looks like the Tuff Toast is not going to give it up quite that easily. I'd like to see another lumber camp in here. But the town center being down means he's not going to be able to produce any more villagers. However, blue is not making villagers either. So it's pretty much up to blue, up to Swilly, on how quickly he can mop up all these pockets.
Yeah, this slow pressure from Swilly is something that can be played around. I think Tuff Toast definitely has an angle, or maybe had an angle. It looks like he's falling apart a little bit with this trebuchet now that's knocking out stuff. But in general, when someone's just hitting the front of your base, you can often pull your villagers back, collect resources, and prepare a counterattack.
This knight's moving forward, I like to see. Maybe a couple more knights roving around the back if you got the attention for it. It's a good plan there too. And I also would love a couple of outposts from blue, some towers for that lovely network of castles bonus that they get. Just take that on the offensive.
Which works on siege as well, I think.
It does, yeah. Those trebs, they get powered up. Full nitro. Second landmark about to go down. Landmark victory approaching 2 out of 3. About now. And all that remains is the Burgrave. Units for orange. He's very much stagnated. Sitting on a lot of resources. This could be an Imperial Hail Mary. No. No, okay. Wait, maybe? He's thinking about what to do right now. He's queuing up things. You see the
He has
Lance
mangonels. Does he have 2 mangonels? He
Where are
does.
they? He's got a couple mangoes here from the Siege Workshop. Okay. Still not giving up.
Yeah, I think the mangonels are a peculiar choice here for Tuff Toast. Maybe it's just he sees that they're working well for his opponent and he's going them. But in general, against Siege and horses, you really don't want to go mangonels.
Yeah, maybe some Man-at-Arms or Lansknecht. Springolds are not in H2, but just a couple of Springolds here would slow this down so much. The mangoes, I guess, are good against the longbows, but that's not really your issue right now. The issue is the siege.
Definitely. Swilly is actually in position here for an age up pretty soon.
Yeah, he could go Imperial. You don't see this Castle Age push from the English. You don't see it every day. But it's working.
I think this game might have looked very... Yeah, this game might have looked incredibly Swilly favored, but I think there was actually a very good chance around the middle of the game where Tuff Toast could have knocked out a couple of his mangonels with horses and really put on the pressure.
Absolutely. This is working really well right now. Going for
Speak
that
of that.
trev. Not
Like this,
quite
exactly.
gonna get it, but cleaning up a lot of the army right now. Still very far behind, and these knights are gonna take care of the horsemen. A lot of unused gold from the Tuff Toast, somehow actually at -1 gold per minute. I don't know how that happens. It's like villagers been pulled off of gold. Maybe they were raided when we weren't looking.
Oh, Burgrave's gonna go down.
Burgrave's going down, and with that, it's going to be the game. Yeah, maybe some market trades for the Tuff Toast there, buy some food, get some more Man-at-Arms out, but